call the Scottsboro Council meeting Monday, April 22nd order. The invocation given by Mr. Kimmer and the pledge of allegiance given by Mr. Miller. Mr. Wheeler, will you do a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Gary Stewart. Here. Mr. Brent Miller. Here. Mr. Patrick Stewart.
Here.
Ms. Carol McClure.
Here.
Mr. Keith Smith.
Here.
Mr. President, before Mr. President, the meeting is open for the transaction of business.
Okay. Before we do an adoption of the agenda, there's some items that need to be changed. Item number 6, consider the budget amendment for the tree commission was handled internally, so that needs to be taken off. And then item 8 needs to be added. It's to move forward with the landfill gas project. So that being said, do I have a motion to approve the adopted agenda?
I make the motion to adopt the agenda.
Do I have a second? Second. Any discussion? I will vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Next item is the approval of previous minutes from April the 8th, 2013. Do I have a motion to approve the previous minutes?
Make a motion to pass the previous minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. There is no old business, so we'll move to new business. First item is consider the Goose Pond alcohol license. Mr. Wheeler, will you cover the discoveries, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. President. The applicant is the Public Park and Recreation Board of the City of Scottsboro. It is for a special events retail license. The establishment is Goose Pond Colony Pro Shop. It's located at 1165 Ed Henry Drive in Scottsboro. Personal background investigation, there was no record indicated of the survey. There was 2 businesses, no objection, 5 residents, no objection. The nearest school, nearest church, and nearest resident all met the the footage requirements. The parking requirements were met, floor space, and were all met. The license application is in order. The health, fire, building, and zoning all complies.
Thank you. This is a time and place for a public hearing for this. Is there anyone here against this? Anyone here against this? Is there anyone here for this? Wow. Okay. This concludes the public hearing. Do I have a motion to consider the Goose Pond alcohol transfer, license transfer?
Make a motion to consider the Goose Pond alcohol license transfer.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, may we ask a question, Mr. Sobey? Special event retail. I don't remember the old license being there. You said to renew the license. But would you mind coming forward? What type of license did you have before?
Special retail 160 is the code, or something. It says 161. That might be a state.
The alcohol license. And this one is a special events retail. What do y'all plan to do with that?
The same that we did before.
And I don't think you can do the same that you did before. I think a special event license is where you have some function, like say a fireworks display, and you want to set up alcohol, then you get a special event license, I think. So I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I don't want you to get the wrong license.
Right. I know on the old one it says special retail.
Yeah, this is a special event retail. And I think that's a completely different type of license. What you may be getting is one license that you can only do one thing with.
Right.
I think if you just transfer the same kind of license they had before, whatever that may be, solve your situation.
Okay, so then we need to change the name of what we're trying to do here, right?
If the previous license had special retail.
So are you gonna have two licenses there, one for you and one for the government and the restaurant?
No, he won't have it. It'll be under us. That way we can stay open if he was to, we could still sell alcohol if he was to close early. Where in the past.
So he's not gonna have alcohol?
No, he won't.
I thought I heard him say the day he was.
No, it's all, we moved it all to ours, the pro shop side.
So all
Just for
that,
that reason.
all the alcohol will be in the pro shop.
Yeah. And it used to be, it used to be over on that side, but
I didn't know if you, I didn't know how two licenses for the same thing would work.
yeah, it's
In
not.
the room.
Yeah, it's just one.
Okay.
And this is a transfer that I have so far, you know, from the state, to transfer the old license, which we transferred it to the person that was in there last year. We just kind of rolled it over to them, and then they reapplied for it.
Okay. Could Mr. Kenner look at that? And
Sure.
just- If we just transfer it from that, see, make sure what we're doing here is the same thing.
It appears to be a special retail license by the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. Government signed that name, so. Just need to transfer it.
Let's transfer what they got there. I think that would be the wise thing to do, because I don't think this is correct. So we need to amend what we're doing to take out the word event.
Just do special retail.
I think, I always just thought it was a retail license. I don't know about the special part, but if that's what they had on the old license, I'm sure that's correct.
Okay. Do I need anything else to amend that? Ms. McCrary, Mr. Miller, Mr. Stewart, do I have y'all's permission to amend that?
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion? If not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Thank you all. Next item number 2 is consider council discretionary fund budget amendment. Do I have a motion to consider the council discretionary fund budget amendment for $2,500? I believe is what we discussed before.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, we'll go for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. The next item is to consider the airport fund budget amendment. We're looking to make an appropriation of $20,000 to the airport fund. Do I have a motion to approve the airport fund budget amendment for $20,000?
I'll make a motion to get on table.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I attend every airport board meeting, and I just, the mayor usually does as well. Do you know of anything coming up that we're gonna have to do the 5% for them, or the matching grant?
There's always, they always apply for, that grant through the FAA. And as a matter of fact, I just signed some paperwork on it on on the airport layout plan last week, so, and that's what this is, money that goes into that for that matching, for the matching part, but, you know, it's, I think there is something out there that they've applied for and may have already been appropriated for, but I can't say for sure, Keith.
I know we've been doing a lot of property.
Yes, that's where most of it has gone lately, but there is some other work that's got to be done. They're hoping to get some funds for an overlayment of the runway, or repaving the runway. That's one thing I know that's coming up, but the paperwork is in, you know, I think they're waiting to hear right now, so.
Okay, I'm good with it. Thank you.
Any other discussion? If not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Next item is to consider the animal shelter changes. We were given a job description before our meeting. Do I have a motion to consider an animal shelter change?
Are you talking about this job description? Is that what you're talking about?
I was under the impression that this was going to come up like at the next work session, but so when I saw it on the agenda today, we did put this job description together. We looked at some other places to do this, go from a part-time office manager, basically position, to a full-time office manager. I don't expect you to vote on this tonight, to be honest with you, because it was just handed to you. And I think what we're looking for more than anything in discussion is this the way you want to go with, you know, there's been a lot of talk about this no-kill shelter. Well, it's something that, you know, I'm not asking you to do, to adopt to do that right now. You know, the first step towards us trying to work towards that, to do that, is hiring a person that, for this, in this job description here. Again, that has to be a budgeted position. You have to approve it since it's not in our budget. So, you know, this is just the first baby steps towards getting that. So.
I'll offer my motion to table it and give us a chance to review this job description and discuss it during that work.
And yeah, in the work session, that would be good. And if you have any questions, then we can try to answer them at that point.
All right, thank you.
So we have a motion to consider tabling the animal shelter changes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? We'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Next item is to consider the formation of a tourism committee. Do I have a motion to consider the formation of a tourism committee advisory board?
I make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I hate to discuss everything, but do we have any kind of a plan as to what this committee's going to do? Anything in writing to tell what their responsibilities will be before we, and even we don't even really know how we're going to appoint these people. Whether each councilman's going to do one, I understood. Mayor's going to have one.
From what I understood, Mr. Miller was, each council member was going to have an appointment, correct?
Correct.
And
How long will that appointment last?
that was one of my questions I was going to have.
That would be, I would assume, just as with the any other advisory committee, our term.
That's correct.
Okay. Would it be possible, I know it's kind of come up quickly last week, to have one more work session so we could talk about what their job's going to be? Not just, I mean, I don't see appointing a committee and not having a real purpose for that committee, or not knowing what that purpose might be. Do we have anything in writing what they're going to do?
Now, Mr. Kidman, is there anything that we need to put forth to the advisory committee before they could
The
be
council
organized?
has the authority to appoint any advisory committees the council wishes to advise them on any specific areas in which they're currently in place. Recreation advisory boards, the airport advisory board, I think at least one other. And this would be operated the same way, I would assume. Each member of the council, the mayor, would have the right to appoint a member. it's purely advisory, it gets no money. Would have someone either appointed to serve as liaison, or the mayor would serve as liaison, and the task of such an organization would be to bring advice or make recommendations to y'all.
Would they appoint their own chairman?
But it's the chairman. Excuse me.
Any other discussion?
No.
If not, we'll go ahead and vote on the formation of the tourism committee or advisory board. Do I have a motion? I'm sorry, do I have a second? Let's vote. Ms. Boyle, will you do a roll call vote on that?
Yes, sir. Mr. Gary Stewart,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. McQuarrie,
Yes.
Mr. Patrick Stewart.
Yes. Item number 7, with the council's permission, I'd like to do this one, do that one last. If that's okay. And then we'll move to number 8, which is move forward with the landfill gas project. Do I have a motion to move forward?
Can I just talk about it just a second, if that's okay? Or would you rather be in discussion, which would be the best?
Technically, it's part of discussion. After there's a motion in a second.
Okay.
We have at times not necessarily completely followed Robert's rules of order regarding such things.
I'll do whichever, Mr. Stewart.
Go ahead.
Okay. A couple of weeks ago, Ms. Sarah Seidler from CDG Engineering came and met with y'all individually, and then came before the council to talk about the expansion of the methane gas collection system in our landfill, and the need of it growing and add additional collection. At that time, we told you that we'd get back with you about the financing for it. The estimated cost was about $250,000. We think that we can probably get it done somewhat cheaper, maybe around $225,000, $220,000. The solid waste department has a replacement fund for equipment, and in that account there's $408,000 currently in that account. Again, the estimated cost at the most would be about $250,000, we think. We're currently getting about $20,000 to $25,000 a month from electricity that is generated through the methane gas collection system. Enhancing this system, we would see an additional income of about $9,000 to $12,000 a month, or roughly $108,000 to $144,000 a year. What we're proposing is to take the additional revenue that we will see out of it, $9,000 to $12,000 per month, use the money out of this replacement fund for equipment, and then take that money that is earned each month to replace the money in that fund, so where he doesn't lose his equipment fund. That way we do not have to go out and borrow money or pay interest. It's kind of just the easiest way or the best way for us to do that. So that's kind of a proposal. If you elect to go ahead and with this expanding the system, that is where the funding will come from. The night that we talked about it, we didn't have all the information, and so I wanted to get back with you before you voted on it. So basically, we're borrowing money from Eddie's solid waste equipment fund. We'll talk to him about that. He's okay with that. So based on those numbers, we would have it paid back within less than 2 years. So again, at no interest or not being able to have to borrow money. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to proceed? Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, we'll vote.
One quick discussion. In that motion, we're talking, we need to, I guess, say, we're talking about paying for it out of his equipment fund.
Approving the project and then using that money to pay
Using that money out of the equipment fund. earmarking the additional revenues that come in because we're doing this project back to his equipment fund until all of that's reflected. Is that correct? That's what we did.
Yes.
The contract itself will have to come before the council.
Yes.
Any other
That's
discussion?
what I meant to say.
They're looking to bid it out into May, 1st of June?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, that, you would have to approve that contract.
Any other discussion? If not, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. The last item on the agenda is acknowledgement of local achievements. I'd like to recognize two firemen, if we can. Charlie Brown and James Parrott. On April the 5th, they completed 9 weeks of recruit school in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Training included firefighter 1 and 2, hazardous materials awareness and operations, and rapid intervention team. They will be attending emergency medical technician school beginning in May. A little bit about Charlie Brown. He's hired May 1st, 2012, and ranked second academically in the recruiting class, and married to Kelly Brown. And James Parrott was hired July 1st, 2012, voted to receive the Leadership Award by his recruit classmates, and married to Stacy Parrott, and they have a son, Gage, that's 1 year old, or 2 now. But we just want to thank y'all for what y'all do for the city of Scottsboro. Chief, would you like to say something?
God help us. It's a hard school. Some members of council have been through that. They know what they go through. They'll do a good job. They already are. I'm glad to have them. And somebody said, they look around, it's 25 years, it's over with. They'll do a really good job. We appreciate you recognizing.
Thank you. Y'all come up front.
So much.
Thank y'all. That's something that we're going to try to do and be consistent with doing going forward. We'll move to reports. Mayor?
The only thing I have is, you should have gotten an email today, but invite the council and the public to a tree planting. The tree commission is going to plant a tree in memory of Carl Austin at 10 a.m. at the airport on Friday. So you can certainly make it. His wife is going to be there. I don't know about their sons. They've got a town, but I know his wife's going to be there. So just wanted to mention that. And good luck and congratulations. And Chris, many times I thought God help us before when I was sitting there. I know exactly what you mean. I'm sure Ralph can keep this too.
Mr. Stewart? Do you have anything?
I don't.
Mr. Miller? I do not. Mr. Craig?
Yes, I do. As you know, I have had to appoint someone else to the Airport Advisory Board. I'm very pleased that Mr. Towery has taken over as the manager up there. I know he's going to have some hard shoes to fill, but he'll do a great job. I'd like to tell you, my appointee, he's a graduate of Scottsboro High School and a graduate of Auburn University with a bachelor's degree in business administration with a concentration in professional flight management. His passion for aviation began at an early age. He began taking flight lessons at the Scottsboro Municipal Airport at the age of 15 and has been actively involved in aviation ever since. During high school, he received his private pilot's license. While attending Auburn University, he received his instrument rating, commercial license, and multi-engine rating. Over the past few years, he's gained valuable experience in the aviation industry as a corporate pilot, and currently he flies a jet for a private company. And I would like to appoint Paul Jacobs to serve until November 14th, 2014.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Well, it's good to see them do so well in the academy they attended. Scottsboro has always been well represented in police and fire. And when they go off to school, they always seem to do well and come back and represent us well. Two of us are sitting up here that's been there, me and Malcolm. And you guys, after you do 30 years or so, you might want to run for city council or mayor or whatever. And then somebody can say, God, here.
I have a couple of things. There's a lot going around town this weekend. One, pancake breakfast at the junior high school from 6 to 11. I believe the Casa Follies are also in the evening, 6 p.m. There's a Master Gardeners at the Jackson County Scottsboro Heritage Center Saturday morning. And then also next Sunday, there's going to be a play at the Scottsboro Depot. It's a day in April of 1864. And I get the privilege of playing Robert T. Scott Jr., first elected mayor of Scottsboro. But a lot going on this weekend. Hope to see a lot of y'all out.
It's even a resemblance. Can you get a picture?
He has more hair than I do. That's all I have. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Do I have a second? All in favor say aye. To adjourn. All opposed say no.